Hello and welcome back to the repair of this Unitra Console, a radio and record player in a furniture. I'm not used to tube radios, so I don't know if this is gonna work. This is the first tube radio I've tried to repair. So stay on to the end of the video to see if I manage to do it. In this video we do some small fixes, and the first of those is fixing a broken lamp holder.
So I'm hoping to replace them. I bought, there's only one broken. I thought I'd just replace both, and I bought an extra just in case. Let's start with desoldering everything. I would like to hold on to this without burning myself. It would be nice. Come on. Whoops. Oh, that piece of rubber just broke into pieces. You can see that they're both original. They both have the little lacquer on that they put on everything to see if somebody had moved anything. And this one is fine. It's nice and playable. And this one, 15 centimeters away, not even 15 centimeters away, has turned into brittle plastic. Well, okay, I have to find replacements now.
So the little rubber rings are actually rubber grommets. They are designed to protect the cable from the hole that the cable goes through in a chassis. But in this case, they're instead used as holders for these lamp holders. So I took the measurements of the rubber one that worked, and I found one that has actually perfect dimensions. So it has exactly the same ones. The inner diameter is 10 millimeters and the panel hole diameter is 13. So that's a perfect fit.
Okay, here's an old one and here's a new one. So the new one is significantly smaller in the outer diameter, but the slot is the same. The size is pretty similar inner, and this inner diameter should be the same. I measured it, so let's see. Take it here. It fits very well in that hole. Let's take one of the new lamp holders. Okay, it's a little bit loose, but you know, that really doesn't matter much.
And after soldering in the new lamp holders, the lamps then worked again. And with that done, it's on to the next thing that needs repairs, the switches.
This button works itself out of the whole mechanism somehow, so I need to get it in, and the mechanism is in here, so I need to remove this top bit here and put it back into place.
So I removed that cover and let's see what's underneath.
Hard to film this, but there's a lot of springs down there, each holding onto one of these little boards, circuit boards. They move back and forth with this lever. So here they're on, and then there's a mechanism that makes them all spring back. And this one, as you can see, has lost its circuit board. So unhooking these is very simple. It's just simply a matter of pulling them up gently. Boink, boink, boink. Now they're all unhooked. You can see that these little circuit boards here are now loose.
But then to properly remove these circuit boards, you have to get rid of this little bar here, which is screwed in. So I'm just going to unscrew that screw and this screw. You can remove this top bar and you can lift these circuit boards out. Okay, the screws are out and the little crossbar is out, and that means we can now get these little circuit boards out. And this is how they are. Look, quite simple. It's just connectors that slide under connectors on the circuit board here, and you see that you don't have connectors everywhere. So this is part actually of the service manual where you have connectors and where you don't have connectors. So these connectors here, these ones, they were kind of crackly and sparkly. They worked, but it made noises before. So I'm going to clean this properly with contact fluid, and then removing the contact fluid because we don't want any grease here, because then we're going to get more dust. So this is going to be all nice and clean. Cleaning the inside of these contacts turns out to be quite easy. It's a nice space in between here for cotton bud, so you can clean the inside here. The outside is much harder, not good space there. Luckily, of course, that doesn't matter as well. If you get good contact on the inside of these, that's enough. Cleaning the sliders is easily done by folding a piece of printer paper in two, soaking it in cleaning fluid, and then rubbing the slider back and forth. So it's time to reconnect these little boards, and the way to do that seems to be, after some trying, to slide them in here. And then carefully get these pins down so that they are correctly adjusted. And push this back a bit while getting this slide into place. And there, that seems to be it. The next three sliders went in easily, but the last one did not. That's the slider attached to the original problem button. It kept falling off, and the button also did not align with the other ones. I don't think you can see it, but there is a little lip here that sticks out on this side here. No, there's no way you can see that, but it sticks out further on this one than on the other one, preventing it from moving back the whole way. And I think that might be the cause of the whole problem. So I'm gonna squeeze that in a little bit, so that this one goes back as far as the other buttons, because this button, you can even see now that it doesn't go up the whole way. So I think that's wrong, so I'm going to fix that. Lip squeezed in, and this now goes up approximately the same height as the others. And I think that's going to fix it. So the little metal clip you see here swings back and forth, and that's to prevent these two last buttons being pressed at the same time. I guess that's a really bad thing, so they put in a thing to prevent that. I didn't look properly what I was doing. I mounted it like this last time. Then you can't press any of them, so that's wrong. It should be like this. So what happens is that when we press a button, if you press both buttons at the same time, you can't enable them because they got stuck on this piece of metal. But if you press just one button, it goes back and back. So then it works. So that's how that works. Now I have to put it back again. And here you can see me putting this board back in the correct position. There's a spring underneath there that needs to go through that hole in the board. So you need to have a hook and find that spring and pull it up through the board. That's what I'm doing here. This is very fiddly. Then once you have that hook, you have to make sure that all the buttons are through the slots properly. That's more fiddling. And then finally you need to hook that spring into the little metal board that goes on top. That might not have been the clearest explanation, and you can't really see anything on this shot either, but it's pretty obvious what you need to do once you do it. It's very fiddly though. And there it is in position with buttons working. Not particularly exciting maybe, but important. And if you look at this indicator here, it's not straight. It should look like this, but it's leaning. And that's because on the back side there's a piece of plastic that has broken off. There's a tab on the left side, but there is not one on the right side. So I decided to manufacture one and glue it on.
So no glue I used worked. Nothing would stick on the plastics I had available. Least of all this transparent piece of plastic I found, which I thought would work. But I did figure out that both of these plastics, which are probably actually the same plastic, although this is new and this is old, are very nicely melty. So I think I can melt them together. And should the melting plan fail, well, then I have my hot glue gun on the ready here. So to not burn myself, I'll hold it in a plier, and first I'm going to fix up this a little bit. Oh, see, it melts very nice. So I get this little hook. Just like there's a hook there, you see? That is not the most beautiful thing I've ever done, and it's sitting too low. Let me try that again. But as a general principle, it works. Okay, and then on the inside here. Well, you know, that's not terrible.
Of course, this resulted in the pointer pointing the other way, but that's easily fixed by sanding down the little slot where the thread is going through on that side.
I declare that good enough. It's not like I'm using the radio anyway.
And that concludes the repairs. I also bought new needles for the gramophone player, of course, and changed them. And then it was all done. Was it worth it? Let's see. So as you can hear, the record player works. The radio also works. Everything works. Even the lamps and even the little magic eye. It all works. You can play shellacs, you can play vinyl, you can play 78, 45, 33 and even 16 RPM records. Yeah, the record changer also works. But yes, there is a problem. We changed all the capacitors and that got rid of all this crackling noise that was there before. But there is now new noise, just low white noise. Not enough for it to be really annoying, but it's there. Maybe you remember these three-legged capacitors, which I figured out were shielded capacitors. And maybe you remember I tried to do my own. Now, I'm not sure these are the culprits. Maybe they're not, maybe they are. But I also don't know what to do about it. So I think I might concede defeat and give this to an expert that can fix the noise issue. It's certainly been an education for me, and I hope it has been entertaining for you. If you like it, like and subscribe, then I'll make more videos. See you then!
Chociaż przyznam się skromnie, martwi to mnie ogromnie, że nie oba